Tonight's first alum being recognized is William Cowell. Bill is from the class of 1962.
A graduate of the Adrian High School class of 1962, Sergeant Major William Cowell is recognized for his service to country. It was after retirement where he played a role in preserving materials from a most controversial occurrence in modern history that many people find equally as fascinating. Bill spent his career in military intelligence, serving 30 years in the United States Army. He served as a counterintelligence special agent, intelligence analyst, and area intelligence specialist. Among his U.S. assignments were Fort Sheridan, Illinois, Fort Huachuca, Arizona, and Fort Meade, Maryland. Overseas, he was stationed in Korea, Vietnam, Germany, and Panama. Bill studied at the U.S. Army Intelligence School and the Defense Language Institute and graduated from the U.S. Army Sergeant's Major Academy. Bill's final Army assignment was as Sergeant Major, U.S. Army Operational Group, Fort Meade. Upon his retirement in 1995, Bill joined the Nixon Presidential Materials Staff with the National Archives and Records Administration, which eventually became part of the Richard Nixon Presidential Library and Museum. In a letter of support for Bill's nomination, U.S. Army Colonel, retired Donald Ullman said, "Serving with Bill Cowell was one of the highlights of my military career. He set a shining example for our soldiers, and they flattered him by imitating him." Colonel Ullman also said that Bill was ahead of his time in respectfully welcoming women into military service as more and more women enlisted. He set a standard of acceptance for our female colleagues. Among his decorations are Legion of Merit, Bronze Star, Meritorious Service Medal, Army Recommendation Medal, and the Army Achievement Medal. He twice achieved the Archivist Special Achievement Award for his work with the Nixon tapes. He has been a major player in the digitization of the Nixon analog tapes, as well as their public release. He was also a consultant on the attempt to recover the missing 18 minutes of audio on the Nixon White House tape. While serving in Korea, Bill met his wife of 45 years, Chung Song-suk, who learned the art of creating pastry from a world-renowned pastry chef. She had the honor of being President Gerald Ford's pastry chef during the 1976 Republican Convention, making all of his desserts. While serving in the U.S. Army Operational Group at Fort Meade in 1988, Bill was the highest-ranking enlisted officer in the unit. He was relied on to set the proper standard for enlisted men and was also charged with preparing the intelligence force from his unit to deploy during the First Gulf War. Some of the team had never seen active combat duty. Bill grew up in Adrian and attended St. John's Lutheran School, where he and many friends transferred to the Adrian Public Schools in the 8th grade. During his high school years, he served as manager of the football team. As a youngster, Bill won a contest which featured a trip to El Carnilla Ranch in Tucson, Arizona, where he learned roping tricks from a cowboy as a prize. He is a member of many organizations, including the Association of the U.S. Army, the Disabled American Veterans, and the Army Counterintelligence Corps Veterans. He's a member of the Alamo Scouts Association and the Pen Collectors of America, the Bola Tie Society of Arizona, he might be wearing one tonight, and the Association of Sound Collections.
Congratulations, Bill. Please come forward and accept your award.
Well, I'm happy to be here tonight. First, I need to thank Dave Loop and the other people who nominated me for this honor, and it is a distinct honor. I've received a number of awards in my life. Some of them would be considered pretty significant. However, this one is truly special. It goes back to my formative years here at Adrian High School. When I attended it, Adrian High School had strong expectations. The students were there to learn. Of course, we had the extracurricular activities, but the emphasis was on education. Our teachers was that, teachers, not our buddies or our friends, and yet our teachers made an impact on our lives. They were genuinely interested in our success, and they were very willing to help us. In fact, I should like to mention a couple of teachers who, as I see them, were very important to me and taught me valuable life lessons. There was football coach Charles Marvin, American history teacher Richard Gaver, and music teacher Robert Whitaker. From them, I learned teamwork, courage and determination, a love for America and for history, to always ask questions and to love good music. Of course, I learned from all my teachers, but these three, as I remember, stood out very much in my life. Thanks to the education I received at Adrian High, I've always gone through life with an inquisitive outlook, seeking answers instead of just accepting. In fact, for my own personal satisfaction, during my Army years, I went on ahead to go ahead and get a baccalaureate degree in political science from the University of Maryland. My life is richer in that I collect fountain pens, read military history, and listen to selections from my collection of classical music. And I also still study various subjects for my own personal satisfaction. Thanks to the Adrian School's Educational Foundation, the high school can continue to educate seeking minds and point people on the path that will lead to a rewarding life. My fellow alumni are a great example of this. They make their mark in education and community service. But I will bet that none of them, including me, had any idea where life would take us when we got out of high school. But we had the education to know and deal with what we wanted when we found it. Now, all of this I couldn't have done without the support of my wife of 45 years now, Suki, and all the many friends, co-workers, and acquaintances over the years that gave me good advice, whether I followed it or not. But tonight is an honor, and thank you very much.